going on, everybody? I'm dear Ashley Grace, and welcome back to another edition of the Culture Voyage. In this episode, we're going to talk about the time Maya cheated on her husband Darnell with sloppy kissing Stan. We're in season 2 of Girlfriends, and Maya is really having a hard time in a rough patch with her husband Darnell. Maya wants to go back to school. However, Darnell doesn't feel like it's the right time as he's trying to get his auto repair business off the ground. Even Joan offers to hire a temp for a couple of days out of each week just so that Maya can go back to school.
Hey, Maya. Hey. Good news. Yeah. I've arranged to get a temp Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons so that you can leave early to go and take your classes.
Joan, I'm not going back to school. My plans have changed. Darnell doesn't think the timing is right.
But Maya tells Joan that Darnell said that this is out of the question at the moment and she will not be going back to school. They were going to go into her office to kind of have some girl talk when William comes in and disrupts the situation for Joan to go look at some foolishness. During that time, Maya comes back out of the office to see a man walking around. She inquires to see what he needs. So the guy at the time's like, I'm just looking for this office. I have an interview today. She was like, who are you interviewing with? And so she's basically giving him some advice on the people that he's interviewing with, saying that, you know, they really love their children and he should really bring up the fact that he possibly has children. He said that he doesn't. And she was like, oh, you can borrow mine. And I don't know in what world you're giving a man a picture of your child that you don't know, but okay. So she gives him the picture of Jabari so that he can use it for his interview. He comes back down later and says, you know what? I aced my interview. I got the job and it's all because of you. And Maya's like, that's great. He was like, you know what? I'm so thankful. I want to take you out to lunch.
And now I want to celebrate. I was wondering if you'd like to join me.
You do know that I'm married and not really to you.
Well, no. I didn't mean it like, like a date. I just meant like, like lunch.
Oh, well, gotta eat lunch, right?
So they go and have lunch, and Maya is basically venting to this man that she just met about her husband and their situation, about her wanting to go back to school. And he's just like, you should go back. You're very enterprising. You should know what happens to a dream deferred. I think you should do it. And then in walks Joan. And Joan is looking up and down the situation like, who is this man that you're sitting at the table with that's not your husband? In a very intimate fashion. And Maya is looking all confused and zoomed and whatnot. And so for a while, Joan is giving her that look like, are you going to introduce me? Or this whole time, Maya doesn't even know what this man's name is. So he introduces himself as Stan. And Joan is like, okay. They have their lunch. And Maya goes back to the office to speak to Joan about it. She was like, you know what? He's a great guy. And Joan was like, okay, that's good. And she's like, you know what? Maya's like, I think he'd be great for you. And Joan says, he's not really my type. And Maya gets all defensive and whatnot. It's like,
so you mean intelligent, funny, sensitive, and attractive isn't your type?
Okay, what's with you?
Nothing's with me. I'm fine. I got a man. A good man. Now I'm just trying to do your lonely ass a favor.
And, she was just like, I'm just trying to help you out. And Joan was like, okay, I don't need any help right now. So in a following scene, Maya is on the elevator when she sees Stan. And she makes sure she stops that elevator so he can get on. But she's obviously upset. And Stan inquires to know why she's upset. And Maya said, I had that conversation with my husband. I told him what you told me about me being smart and enterprising and all the things. And he's like, it's just not a good time. We agreed that it's not a good time. And she says, I didn't really agree to that. And I want to go back to school, but my husband isn't hearing me. She breaks down sobbing in the arms of this man that she just met 2.5 seconds ago.
I know I'm fine. You don't have to do that. Okay.
Sure I do. Come here. Come here. Let it out. Just let it out.
And he stops the elevator and comforts her and allows her to have space to be emotional. And she just has her moment to really be upset. And I guess at this point, Joan decides that she actually does want to go on the date and that Maya recommended that they go out on this date. And he's like, well, Maya's been right about everything else. So yeah, I'd love to go on a date with you. So they decide to go out and Joan tells Maya, and Maya looks very disgruntled. She looks like a scorned lover that now Joan is going out on this date with Stan. So on the next scene, Joan and Stan come back from their date. They're at Joan's house. And you can see somebody on the back porch. And it's Maya. Maya's out there crawling on the ground, looking through the windows. She was like, I had to drop off some letters. She was like, you don't have any letters in your hand? She was like, I had to burn them. She was like, girl, what? Anyway, Stan is looking all types of confused. Joan looks very much so confused. Stan's like, listen, I'm going to call it a night. And Maya's like, yeah, it is getting late. You probably should go. And Maya and Joan have this stare off like, what was that about? Sort of situation. So where they had to have an emergency girlfriends meeting. And the girls are like, what's going on with you, Maya? Why are you so wrapped up into this man? Like, what's the deal? And Maya's like, I'm really wanting some male attention right now. Someone who I can speak with and vent to and someone listen to me. And I'm missing that right now in my relationship.
Maya, I have had threesomes and foursomes and then somes, but that was just sex. You're trying to share emotions with another man, and that's just something you're supposed to be doing with your husband.
I'm just a girl going through a hard time looking for a little male understanding.
And they warn her and they say, you're sharing emotions and your emotional value with someone else that isn't your husband. And even though you haven't physically done anything with this man, that's cheating. That's grounds for cheating. And they advise her to stop entertaining this man before it goes any further. So in the next scene, they see each other on the elevator again. And she goes to try to tell him that they should kind of pump the brakes and cool it down and let him know that she's married and this is inappropriate. But she doesn't do that. She just thanks him for being a listening ear and keeps the confusion going.
Listen, there's something I need to say to you. You have been so supportive of me these last couple of days.
I like you. It's hard not to be supportive.
Well, thanks. Thank you. But the thing is, I just wanted to say thank you.
You're welcome.
She gets back to Joan's office and is like, listen, Joan, I decided that I'm going to continue to see Stan.
Hey. So I decided that I am not going to stop seeing Stan.
Maya,
I know what you're going to say, but I really need his attention right now, and I don't want you getting all judgmental about it.
Okay. I think you're risking a lot.
I'm not giving up any of my parts, so just let me have this.
So some time goes by and Maya is still seeing Stan to the point where she is using the girls as an alibi for if Darnell calls and asks about her whereabouts. And so we're around Christmas time and Maya is hinting that she wants a watch, but she also wants her husband to like her friends, particularly Joan. Now, the reason why there's a point of contention between Joan and Darnell is because Darnell doesn't really like the fact that Joan and the girls are exposing Maya to different things, to different types of conversations and friend groups and ideas, honestly. And so he doesn't really like that, and he believes that Joan is the ringleader of all of it. So just keep that in mind. And so she wants them to all come together, and she wants Darnell to have a better relationship with them. And so she goes and has lunch with Stan again. And Stan says, I have a present for you. And Stan gets this woman a watch. And not just any watch, but a very expensive watch. And she's like, dang, this is a nice watch. Maya was like, dang, I didn't get you anything. And brings out a tin of cookies. So she keeps her watch. She said, listen, I've been asking for this watch. I got to get this watch, okay?
But I still need to get this watch.
So while Maya is at this lunch getting this watch, Joan is back at the office and Darnell pops up. Darnell is looking for Maya. Joan says that she's not there, intercepts, doesn't really say anything about where she actually is. But Darnell does ask Joan for her advice as to what Maya may want as far as a watch is concerned, because she's been hinting that that's what she wants for Christmas. And they have a short exchange in reference to the watch. And Joan is really excited about it because she don't want no beef with Darnell. She wants Darnell to like her. So when Maya finally gets back to the office, she's like, listen, I got to show you something. And she shows Joan the watch. And Joan is like, oh my gosh, this is a Concord. This is a $1,500 watch. Maya's like, dang, I knew it was nice, but $1,500? That's crazy. And Joan is like, yeah, are you sleeping with this man? Because for him just to buy you that watch, it gotta be something. She was like, no, I'm not sleeping with him. And Joan was like, well, you probably should think about returning that watch back to him. It doesn't seem like an appropriate gift. And so Maya toiled over it for a little bit, even though she wanted to keep that watch. She said that she would give it back. Now we're at the Christmas party, and Maya still got this watch on, to which Joan is like, I thought you said that you were going to be giving that watch back. What's going on? She's like, I am. I'm just waiting for the right time. Give me a second. And then we see Stan come in, and she attempts to give the watch back to Stan, but Stan was like, this is an expensive watch. I don't think it's appropriate for me to take it. And Stan's like, I got it for you. It's a gift. It's a thank you for, landing me the job and helping me and being my friend. And he was like, no strings. It's just a gift. And if you don't want it, you can give it to somebody else. But I want you to have it. And then she's like, okay. And so Stan goes to leave. And lo and behold, Darnell is coming off the elevator as Stan is getting on the elevator, which is quite ironic. And so Darnell pops up on Maya. She's very much so surprised because Darnell don't come out to her work events. Darnell don't even come out to social with Maya. So the fact that he's there, she's very surprised. And as they're there, he's looking at her wrist. He's like, what is that? And she's like, oh, it's a watch. And he was like, this is a Concord. This is a very expensive watch. Who's buying you gifts like this? And so she's hemming and hawing for a few minutes until she finally sees Joan, and she says, it was a gift. And Joan got it for me. And Darnell is pissed. Darnell already doesn't like Joan. And so the fact that in his mind at this point, he knows that he just had a conversation with Joan about getting Maya a watch. And now he feels as though Joan intercepted his plan by getting her not only a watch, but a better and more expensive watch than what he would have got. And child, he is going off on Joan, saying, what is she thinking? She's a bitch. And Maya's just standing there looking like boo-boo and the fool. And so Joan comes over and speaks with them. And he was like, how dare you? Like, what do you think I am? You don't think I can buy my wife nice things? Like, why would you do this when I just talked to you about buying her a watch? And Joan is completely cut off guard. He won't let her get a word in edgewise. He was like, just because your bougie self can't keep a man, don't feel like you can mess up other people's situation. And Maya's still standing there looking crazy while this man, her husband, talks to her friend this way, knowing that it's her fault that this is happening. So Darnell leaves, and Joan is like, what was that? And she was like, I told him that you got it for me. She's like, why would you do that? She was like, why wouldn't you tell me that he was going to get me a watch? She was like, girl, don't put this back on me. This is your mess, and you need to fix it. And so she leaves with Darnell because he said, let's go, right? And so she comes back to the house later on with Joan and the girls. And she's like, listen, Darnell doesn't want me to be friends with y'all anymore because of the incident. And she was like, none of this would have happened if you would have just given the doggone watch back. She's like, it's too late for that. But this is where we are right now. And, the girls was like, you started this emotional relationship with this man. And this is why you're in the situation that you're in right now. And so Maya leaves. In that time, the ladies hatch up a plan to get back into the good graces of Darnell. And they show up with a computer and lie and say that Maya won the scratch off and she bought the computer for him and she bought the watch just to throw off the situation so he wouldn't find out, and asked Joan to hide the computer. It really didn't make any sense to me, but that's the story that they came up with. And so Darnell feels really bad. He apologizes to Joan. He thanks Maya for getting him the computer. Joan's like, listen, sis, you could have just lost everything. And Maya's like, I know, but because of you, I didn't. I still have my friends and my husband. And after all of this, you would think that Maya would be done with this whole situation, but no. She sneaks off to the balcony to call Stan to tell him Merry Christmas. So she's still in the hooks of this emotional thing that she has going on with Stan. Joan is under the impression that Maya is going to cut it off with him, but no, she's still seeing him. And so they decide to go get lunch later at this Italian place, and they take the food back to William's house that he just bought. And William comes in as, you know, they're flirting and canoodling and doing all the things. And William's like, yeah, let me talk to my friend real quick because this looks a little questionable. And this is the first time that we're getting advice from the male perspective outside of the girlfriends. To which William is like, Maya, this man wants you. Like, this isn't just a friend, especially on his end. He wants something more. Maya is still not putting two and two together to make four. And William is trying to say, listen, this man wants you. He wants your body. He wants your spirit. He wants your mind. This is not a friendship. This is men and women. To him, cannot be friends. And so we're back at the office and Stan meets up with Maya again. And Maya's like, do you think that men and women can be friends? And Stan is like, yeah, we're friends. You know, you're my homie. You're my road dog. You know, you're my ace. All the things. He gets closer and closer to her until now he has her pinned against the wall and they do the unthinkable. Maya kisses Stanley. There's hand on neck. There is hand on door frame. They getting it in. And so Maya goes to Joan's house to meet up with the girls. And she was like, y'all, Stanley and I kissed. And they are in astonishment. And she says it was the stankiest thing that she had ever experienced. It was the worst kiss that she'd ever had. It was sloppy. She had slop running down her chin. She said she had to go ice her lips. She said that the kiss woke her up to realize that she was cheating on her husband. And my thing is, you needed to have a kiss with him to realize that you were cheating? Okay. She's like, yeah, I need to break it off with him. You have not broken this thing off with him after all of that, after that terrible kiss. She was like, in the haste of trying to get over here and tell y'all, I didn't break it off with him. The girls are like, we're glad that you came to this realization because us telling you weren't getting it. It wasn't until that you had to freaking kiss the man in order for you to realize that you were about to lose your husband and that you were emotionally cheating on this man. And so Maya says that she's going to break it off with Stan. She's going to let him know that this is not going to be a thing anymore. So the next day they're in the office and Stan is over the moon. Stan is high off life. He is high off Maya. He is excited. He said, listen, I know we crossed the line. I know you're married, okay? But I love you. That kiss proved it. That kiss proved that we are in love. And all we need to do is sit down with Darnell to let him know that we need to be together. Like, that's the only thing that we need right now is to be together. He said, you light up my life. You brighten my day. I mean, this man is singing to Maya at this point. Maya looking at this man like, fool, I don't want to be with you. But she can't get the words out. She can't get the words out. He is oblivious and he is only in his mind. He is saying that he is in love with Maya and they're going to be together and they're going to figure this out. And they have plans to meet later. And Joan was like, did you do it? Did you break up with him? She was like, no. And so now we have another emergency girlfriends meeting at the office. To where Maya's like, you know what? I'm just going to go to lunch with him and I'm going to do it. And Joan's like, no, you don't need to be anywhere else near that man. And Lynn offers to break up with Stan for Maya. Lynn sees Stan at the restaurant because she works there. And she's like, listen, Maya don't want you. Maya don't want to be with you. She is married. She did not like the kiss. It was not it. It was not tea. She don't want anything else to do with you. She don't love you. You need to get on and go live your best life. And Stan is livid. Stan is mad. Stan is upset because Maya has told her friends all of these things and did not tell her. And he is under the impression that they have a good thing going and they're going to be together and their feelings are mutual, but it's not. And so in the interim, Maya's coming home from work with her groceries and Stan is sitting on the couch with Darnell. We have gone into full-blown creep stalker territory. This man put it upon himself to meet up with Darnell. He is in her house, sitting on her couch, drinking her drink, eating her food probably. And Darnell's like, this is Stan is dope. Stan is the man, okay? And Maya has to sit there oblivious like she doesn't know what's going on. And Stan is really just torturing her right now in this moment. And Maya's like, what are you doing to me right now? Like, what are you trying to do to my family? She was like, I'm trying to show you that you don't play with people's heart. And I'm going to enjoy seeing you squirm as I'm over here befriending and being the best friend of your husband. And so Stan is now around all the time. Stan is at the softball game watching Darnell play softball. And he's like, listen, I'm not going anywhere. And if you like, I can go ahead and tell him what's going on right now. And she's like, please don't do that. Please don't mess up my home. And to the point where Maya's like, you know what? I'm just going to tell him myself. And so later on, she has a moment with Darnell. And she's like, baby, I got to tell you something. And Darnell's like, I know. Darnell was like, you should be able to go back to school. I should be able to still open my business. I should be able to talk to you. I should be able to have some give and take within our relationship. And what sucks about this is that, not that he recognized it, but it took all of this. It took Maya cheating and being emotionally involved with this man and Stan now stalking her just for Darnell to be like, I get it. You want to go back to school and I should be working with you as your husband, as your partner to make that happen for you. And child, Maya, she don't know what to do at that point. And so they're back at the softball game. Stan is there being a menace once again. Maya is like, what's your intention here? Like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do to me and my family and my husband? And Stan is just like, I'm just basically wanting to make your life miserable. And Maya's like, you know what? Do what you want to do. If you want to, go tell him. And so he was like, you know what? I'm going to tell him. And so he calls over Darnell and he's trying to get the words out. But he just ends up saying that he has to go and that, he'll see him some other time. So he declines to not tell Darnell about he and Maya and tells Maya that, you need to act like you actually love your husband. I'm sorry, Stan, the nerve of you. And that's where it ends and they live happily ever after. Psych, that would just be too easy, right? So some time goes by and Maya and Darnell are in a really good place. They're like they're kids again, like they just met on the playground. And they're in a really good spot. And so Maya comes over to Joan's house one day and they're kikiing on the phone. And no, you hang up. And so they're in that type of space right now. And the ladies kind of rehash Maya's infidelity and how she could have lost everything in that relationship and whatnot. And so in that conversation that she's having with the girl, she's like, you know what, guys, I think I should tell Darnell that I cheated. She feels like they're in this great place now and maybe he'll be understanding. And the girl's just like, no, girl, do not tell Darnell that you cheated. You need to take that to your grave because all it's doing right now is appeasing your soul and your spirit. And it's only going to put him in a world of hurt. And that's kind of where they leave the conversation. Fast forward, Maya comes home in a good mood, ready to, do her things with her husband. And Darnell is just sitting on that couch posted. And he's like, you need to check the answering machine. And she was like, that can wait. He was like, no, it can't. It's important. So she plays the answering machine. And the answering machine plays the conversation that Maya had with the girls about her cheating on Darnell.
Your marriage was deep in trouble and you turned it around.
What, Lamb? No, your cell phone, speed dial home again. I told you need to keep that key guard on.
It's just eating at me that I have the secret.
You let that play.
Guys, I've been thinking I need to tell Darnell about Stan. Are you crazy? What? What? I mean, you and Lynn are the ones who told me to tell him. Yeah, but that was when Stan was ready to tell Darnell. But you got away with it. I'm sorry. No, I don't want to keep Darnell, baby. I'm so sorry.
And honey, you could see Maya's whole life flash before her eyes. Darnell becomes irate. He starts to scream and yell. Maya is begging and pleading this man not to leave her, to think about their child. And Darnell said, you didn't think about our child when you did this. You had that man in my house. You had him kikiing with me in my face. And this is what you do. And he starts to pack up some things and puts them by the door. And we don't find out until the next scene that Darnell actually kicks Maya out of the house.
What's going on?
He kicked me out.
Oh, God.
And that's where we ended for right now. And here are my thoughts. Lord. Now, everyone plays a part in this debacle, right? Maya, of course, is wrong for carrying on a inappropriate relationship with a man that's not her husband, for entertaining even a thought of intimacy, emotions with another man, even though she wasn't getting those things that she felt like she was needing from her own husband. With that being said, Darnell, if you're familiar with the show, his role is very traditional in the sense that what the man says goes, and he makes the decisions and the wife agrees with said decisions. And so that doesn't make for a great relationship either, especially when you have a wife like Maya who's now growing into herself in these new relationships with her girlfriends, and seeing them move about their lives in a way to which now, as she's getting older, she wants to have more autonomy over the things that she does. And she has a husband that's not willing to listen to that. And so she falls into the arms of a man who's willing to listen to her, to hear her emotions, and give her that male support that she's been desiring, even if it's coming from a man that she just met. She was in dire need of that sort of attention. And I feel like everyone played a part in some way. Darnell not being attentive enough to Maya's needs, and Maya falling victim to temptation. And so I feel like the best recourse of that relationship would have been some good therapy. But like I said before, Darnell was not that type of man. He was not that type of husband to where he wanted to insert anybody else in their relationship other than the two of them. So at that point in time, that wouldn't have even gone over well. Now, as far as Stan is concerned, Stan was wrong. Stan was dead wrong. Yes, Stan was there for her emotionally, but he played on that. He played on the fact that he knew that her husband wasn't providing those needs for her at the moment. And so he was there to kind of love bomb her in a sense and give her all of those things, but kind of play stupid when it wasn't reciprocated back to him, knowing good and well that this lady was married. And so to think that she was going to be receptive of the idea of being with him any point of time was less than smart. But let me know what you all think down in the comments. If you have not already, go ahead and like this video. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and make sure you press that post notification bell so you know when I post videos next. And I will see y'all in the next Culture Voyage. Bye!